I wonder if you can hear them buzzing. I sure can. I have two colonies of honeybees, Primrose, who is in a white hive, and Bluebell in a blue. And I've been peeking in from time to time over the past couple of months just to make sure that they have enough honey to see them through this lean part of the year. So between February and April, May even, they're out trying to build up the colonies by collecting pollen and nectar. And there's not really a whole lot at this time of the year. So it's really important to keep an eye on honey stores especially. So the weather has been abysmal, as we all know, for the last couple of weeks. But today it is absolutely stunning, and the bees are over there just absolutely buzzing around in the sunshine. So it's actually a good day for me to have a peek inside and have a closer look at what the bees are doing, what their honey stores are like, to see if there are any eggs or baby bees, so brood, in the comb. And also to look at some issues. So last time I noticed that the roof and one of the supers on Bluebell was a bit damp, so there must be a leak inside, so I've brought some spare parts to replace those. And I just need to have a quick look around just to make sure that everything is going all right, and that is the job of a beekeeper. So it's not just about keeping bees and taking honey off at the end of the year. A true beekeeper puts their bees first. So that means making sure throughout the year that they have enough space to build honeycomb and to lay eggs, to have more baby bees, that they have honey, that you don't take off too much, and that at lean parts of the year, like now, that you supplement it if need be. Diseases, so with varroa and other bee diseases and also pesticides, it's important to keep an eye on your bees and make sure that everything is healthy, that there's nothing that you can't do to help them on. Bees are so important to our livelihoods, both as people, for our diets, our food, but also for the environment. So beekeepers have a really important role in making sure that their bees are healthy, but that helps the greater environment as well. So I'm going to take you on a little look through my colonies today, and hopefully this is going to be the beginning of a bumper year for them and for the honey harvest later on. So let's go have a look. Just given them a couple puffs of smoke, and that helps to calm them down a bit. And I also stand behind the hives, and that's what you do as a beekeeper because they don't really like you standing in front. I take videos there sometimes, but they don't like it at all. The first colony that I'm going to look into is Bluebell here. And I know that Bluebell's roof is a bit wet, and so is this super box. So I'm going to transfer the frames that are inside this super box into a new one that I brought with, and also replace this at the end. And then I'm also going to take the time to kind of just look in through the first couple of supers just to see if there's anything that I need to keep an eye on. See, the inside of this is absolutely soaking wet. This needs to dry out completely. Even though it isn't the warmest right now, it's just early April, going in at midday as well will help them to regain any lost heat through this inspection. And they're doing really good as far as stores are concerned. So I put in some extra fondant as well as the honey in here, and they haven't really gone through very much of it. So that is a very good indication that they've got plenty of food, they're doing really well, and that I won't have to give them any more supplementary food. And in fact, I'm going to take whatever's remaining of the fondant out and replace it with the honeycomb frames that I took out of it. So this super box, I'm just having a look at it right now, and the sides seem relatively okay, but the front and back are really wet. So I'm just going to lift up all of these supers and place them into this new super box that I brought with. It's not new, it's old, but It's nice and dry. It's been in the garage. Any brambles up here? They probably won't like this very much, but it needs to be done. So, last one. So I'm just gonna pop the crown board on top of here, just to keep these guys quiet. This, you can see, is absolutely soaking wet on the front and the rear. So I'm going to take this home and let it dry out in the garage, and it'll be as good as new. Do some cleaning of it as well while I have it at home. Well, we've got a few casualties. It does happen with beekeeping. And these guys had probably a fairly alright demise since they are drowned in sugar fondant. So this is just pure sugar used in confectionery and cakes, and it is just energy, just pure energy. It doesn't have any other, vitamins or minerals or any other nutrients, micronutrients that bees need, but it does give them energy if there is a lean time. This silver screen here on the top is a queen excluder, so that means that the bees down below can mingle with the queen bee who lays the eggs, and the frames above don't get any baby bees laid into them. And it's more important in the summertime when you're trying to extract honey, because you don't really want to kill baby bees in that process. Now, I'm not going to go much deeper than this next super today. I'll save that for another day, but I just want to have a quick peek underneath the queen excluder to see if I can spot any brood. They really seal everything together with their sticky glue, propolis. Ooh. We'll just quickly smoke them. Just make sure that the queen's not on there. This is just pure honey. There's uncapped honey in there as well. Just a little bit. And also pollen. They've been really busy in collecting pollen. I put all the frames back in the super. I didn't spot any baby bees or eggs being laid, but it is really early in the season. We are a bit behind, probably about a month or so. And so it could be that the queen bee has laid off on laying for just a little bit. So the next time I come back, I will go deep down into the colony and look in the very bottom box, the brood box, to see if I see any signs of eggs or capped over brood. And if I don't, then I'm going to have to start thinking about, is the queen missing? Has she died? What's going on? But hopefully we won't have to deal with anything like that. Hopefully it's just a little bit of a later season like I expect it to be. So I'm going to put the queen excluder back on, clean it off a little bit. Bees love to fill in any holes or gaps or cracks with beeswax or propolis, their bee glue. And if this gets too filled up with beeswax, I'll just take it out, replace it, and take this home and pour boiling water all over it. So I've got a new dry top. And Bluebell is sorted for the time being. I'll come back in about 10 days just to see how she's doing. In my inspection of Primrose, I found that she was in pretty much the same state as Bluebell. There was lots of honey left. I didn't spot any eggs or brood, so baby bees. The roof was also quite damp in Primrose as well. So on my next visit, I'm going to bring a dry roof for her. And then I'm also going to bring an empty super of frames for each of the colonies so they can start building up the colonies and putting more of their honey stores up top and focusing on creating space down below for baby bees. And I'm also going to be doing a more thorough inspection of the brood chamber. So that's where the queen bee lives. It's a larger box on the very bottom. And in my case, I'm brood and a half. So I have a brood box and a super each this year for the bees to lay all the baby bees in. And if there's any frames down there that need replacing, I'm going to take them out and put fresh frames in and just make sure that both colonies are neat and tidy and ready for the year ahead. Thank you so much for watching this video on my honeybees and the April inspection. If you've got any questions about beekeeping or honeybees or my bees in particular, leave them as a comment below, and I'm pretty good about getting back to you fairly quickly. And then also like this video if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back next Sunday with another video here on the Lovely Greens YouTube channel.